Welcome to Talking with Kevin and Son, where truth meets real. We talk life, love, and purpose.
Welcome to another edition of Talking Wit Kevin and Son, featuring people you should know. Hi, my name is Kevin McLemore. I am your show host. I'm a four-time published author, an award-winning author, public speaker, singer, songwriter, and mindset messenger. At least that's what some of my friends says. This episode is brought to you by RMK Productions and Network and the 10 United Podcast Network. Through the power of your story, our mission is to uplift the power of your voice, to inspire, share stories, experience, and perspectives, using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is very simple, folks. It's hope, HOPE, helping other people every single day. Now today, our featured guest is Miss Anna Zeng. She's an author, creative visionary, a world-class storyteller whose work reflects the passion, purpose, and imagination. Anna is the author of one of the best-selling books, The Zodiac Guardians, a book that blends creative symbolism and storytelling into a powerful narrative that resonates with readers all across different backgrounds. Her work is rooted in strong values, the character of women and empowering women, persistence and collaboration. Anna's journey is a reflection of what it means to believe in your voice, to trust the creative process, and to bring something into the world that did not exist before. She represents the ideas that every story matters, and that most importantly, every person has a story to be told. Now today, if you stay with us long enough, you're going to learn three things. You're going to learn about the creative process and how Anna brought the Zodiac Guardians to life and executed that. Then you're going to learn the power of storytelling, which she's an expert at, why a person has a story to tell and why the story she deserves to be told. The other is the value that drives success, the important characteristics of empowering women, persistence in chasing your dreams, and collaboration in building something meaningful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to sit back, buckle up, and I want you to enjoy the ride. I want to welcome to the show Miss Anna Zeng, best-selling author of The Zodiac Guardian. How you doing, Miss Anna?
Hi, I'm good. How are you, Kevin?
I am doing just fine. It's a beautiful day here.
Yeah.
I know you're having a good time over there, and I cannot wait to do a deep dive into the creative process of writing. And I'll be the first person to tell you, I love authors. It's because we're part of a very unique group
It
that
is.
it is a very lonely world, but we, in our
True.
imagination, is a crowded space. We have
Oh,
stories, characters. We have places that we want to go in our imagination. We take him, whatever, and then we're kind enough to invite our listeners on a ride. Um, but before we begin and we talk about the Zodiac Guardian, I want to learn a little bit more about you. Because
yeah.
first of all, I thought you were a movie star to show it up on my screen. Not the same person I met a
Thank you
couple
for
of
that.
weeks ago. So Anna, if you were to put a message in a bottle and you're standing on the beach in some beautiful tropical island, and we know that 800 to 80 million times that someone's going to find this message in the bottle, but your bottle gets discovered on the other side of the continent. If you had to put a message in the bottle for someone that has a dream, what would that note say?
Yeah. I would say listen to your inner voice, try it, fail it, and try again. I think that's the main message I would tell everyone.
All right, all right. So now we know that you're a dreamer. So Anna, take us back to the beginning. What inspired you to create the Zodiac Guardian?
Yeah, sure. I think I would just give you a little background of my how my growth. I grew up in China. It's the southern part of China. It's Guangzhou. It's a city that filled with the manufacturers in the 80s, and it's very famous for its import and export business. And I left home very early when I was 12 years old, and then I went to the boarding school. So it's kind of like immersed into the culture of the Chinese traditional exam type of the education, and also immersed with the Western part of the performing arts on the stage and speaking, presentation, that type of the education. So that kind of give me the two perspective of to see the world. One is very conservative, one is very innovative. So I think the innovation is kind of like building in my mind at that time. So after that, I choose my main major and then went to the law school. That's kind of my passion. But after I graduated and to join the public sector, I feel like there's still something I can do bigger and I can dream bigger to see the potential of myself. And then I pursue my MBA in San Francisco. That kind of like a eye-opening period for me. After lots of the presentation, lots of projects, I get my feet wet in the procurement supply chain. And currently I work with the university. It's already been 10 years since I started. So that kind of like continually to touching the new things, to taking on a challenge, to try the new things that I never thought I can accomplish. So believe in yourself and then to try it. So I think that kind of like give me the foundation of everything I built it with.
Now, let me ask you a question. You said you got an MBA? I don't have
Yes.
that in my notes. What do you have your MBA in?
I have my MBA in Golden Gate University in San Francisco. It's focused on supply chain management.
All right. And how do you go from supply management to writing? Probably, and I'm going to say this out there, so people, please forgive me if you disagree, but you'll agree after you have read the Zodiac Guardian. In my mind, the characters, when you see the characters, it's not a picture book. It's not a children's book. I will say on the ranks of the next Harry Potter adventure story.
Thank you.
So how do you go from procurement to the creative process of writing a book and telling a compelling story? Those two don't seem to line up.
That's true, but they all have a combined, how to say, it based on the same thing. You need to think a lot and you need to learn a lot during for example, like my procurement, I need to learn a lot of the policies and the legal type of aspect of things, and I need to keep up with the knowledge and the information day to day. But writing is the same thing. You need to continually be curious about something. You need to learn and then you need to grow and then write down your thoughts and then kind of like have a self-reflection process. So it's really helpful for you to have that process before you can really start a book. But eventually, writing a book is still like a structure. You need to start with the outlines and then you have an idea, a vision, what it's about, and then to break them into the small pieces. So that's kind of similar to the procurement. We break into a big goal into small pieces of a text so you can be one step closer to your goal. So that's, I think, similar.
I'm going to ask you a little small favor. I'm going to ask you to slow down just a little bit because
Sorry.
you
Yeah,
give me
sure.
information real fast, and I want to make sure our listeners pick up the story in whole the first time around. This is a question that's always asked to me, and I'm just starting off with the very basics. Who was the first person you told that you were writing a book, and what was their response?
The first one I told is my baby when I was pregnant. I told her that mommy is really want to have a sweet moment with you by reading, by discussing the fun characters just like mommy do when I was in the boarding school when I in China. So I think that's kind of like the first process I did and first person to tell. I think she's really like it. My girl Cora is a 4-year-old girl. When she was in my belly, I kind of touch her and she kicked back. So I take that as a yes.
All right, so she was the first person that approved. Anyone ever ask you or tell you they've always wanted to write a book and they wish they could and they had a story to be told? And what would you say to those people?
Sure, I do have a few friends after they saw that I successfully published the book, they got inspired and they said, oh, they want to make it into stories as well, and they really don't want to make that dream happen. But it seems to take us slower for them than me. I'm a very, how to say, I goal oriented. If I think this is the thing I need to do, I would take that the big text into small pieces, small text to do it step by step, one by one every day to push me towards the right goal. So that's why I eventually published the book. But I think if everyone is interested in this area, just trust themselves and then to mark down every small pieces at the beginning and make a outline very complete, or like just to write down the bullet point, what the story is about, what's the main purpose that you want to deliver to your audience, and then do some research on what the other book audience do, why they're success, what their targeted audience would like. So do some research and then to make the small goal every day for you to towards the final goal. That would be helpful.
Now, that's a lot of work. The average person does not, I mean, you're a seasoned author. A lot of people don't go through the process of
Um,
going through, of having a conversation in their head. Um, who's their audience? Who you're writing the story for? Why you're writing your story? How are you going to market the story? Most people have a conversation in their head and they want to write it out. I know with me, I have a small group of people that I coach and mentor going through the writing process. And I want you to mentor me in the first process. Um, I am totally overwhelmed with the fact that I've met a famous published author that's got a best-selling book, and I'm coming to you and I have an idea and a concept. The problem is, like you, I work a full-time job. I have kids, Alex, Theo, Jillian, Keisha, and Connor. I have two dogs, Sybil and Peyton. I work out every day. I train every day. I have goals. There's only 24 hours in a day.
mm.
What is the process, and how would you explain to someone um, the next steps of writing a book? What are the steps with you, and speak slowly, of how to set up writing a book, and what advice would you give me to start out?
Yeah, sure. As I said at the beginning, I would draw down or journal down the things I feel interesting. So I think that's the first step to accumulate type of the materials that you can use in your book. And the second part, I think I will think about who will be my main characters. So I will start it with these two characters or three characters or just one character to build up their story, their life, their background, and then what they will do in certain situation. I would just imagine those things and then put them down in the paper, make it as a file. So that will be my first step for these two things. And next will be to see how you can grow this story. It's kind of like if you're talking about this purple is very outgoing and he's very want to helping people. He's really hard caring. So you just based on this 1 to 2 points, you just fill in the stories and then fill in the examples that can show this person is very heartwarming and really willing to help people. So that's how I grow my story.
All right, that's good. Hopefully, someone that has pen to paper or their hands on a keyboard ready to write. Hopefully, Ms. Anna Zeng has motivated you and gave you the first steps of starting out. But she also mentioned something about her first main characters, and I know everyone's asking when are we going to talk about the book. Anna, you've got your three main characters in the book, but you have a lot of characters. The artwork or the illustrations, the graphics are over the top. They are professionally done. Tell us about um, the Zodiac Guardian. Tell us about the book.
Yes, this book actually is like I imagine myself as going through a magical journey with my daughter in the future. But also I feeling a lot of the examples or the stories that happening around my friends and my family. So actually the book have two main characters. So one is called Annabelle, the other one is called Olivia. These two are the best friends and they grew up together as a childhood friend, but they do have a very different kind of characteristic personalities. One is very heartwarming, like I said, outgoing, want to make friends. The other one is really like the leadership type. She like to make the decision fast and efficient. So those are the two main characters that I have in the book. And the 12 zodiacs are based on the Chinese culture. So, we call it zodiac year. So every year we have an animal for the representation and 12 years as a cycle. So we have a 12 zodiac animals in each of the chapter. So that's how I started my book.
All right. Question. I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but it has happened to people I have mentored. They have gotten off to a great start, and then all of a sudden, everything that was running all of a sudden stopped. They got distracted.
Mm.
Um, was there ever a moment where you had doubt going through this process? And if so, how did you push through this challenge?
Sure, I think that's very normal. Just like you said, it's a lonely journey for every other. So that's really normal. That's it, you can expect that coming. And what I did when I started my writing, when I was doing the pregnancy, I think everything would be so smooth. It would just go through my every step and then towards my goal. And it would finish it on time. After one year, I definitely can publish this book. But eventually, when my baby came, a lot of things that are happening. I need to take care of her. I need to feed her. I need to change a diaper for her. So everything kind of like caught my attention more than writing. But I still will knock myself in the room at a certain time. For example, like I would like to do it at 3 p.m. in the afternoon because she was taking a nap, so I can do my writing quietly in the small room. So just piece by piece, small step to write whatever you can and at that time. So and then after that, I will celebrate a little bit to talk to my friends, say, "Oh, I just finished one chapter or just finished one paragraph. That's really a big milestone. What do you think? I want to show you." So it's kind of like the encouragement from the people around you and also keep it as a routine for yourself. So I think that's how I push me towards my goal. Yeah.
All right. Your book. We talk about the three characteristics that are very important to you. We talk about empowering women. We talk about persistence and collaboration. Um, your book reflects strong themes throughout the book. How important in developing these characters are the three things that I mentioned: empowering women, your persistence, and collaboration. Why are these things so important, and how do you find a way without putting it directly in a person's face in the storytelling process? How do you do that?
Sure. The book is about two girls going through these 12 zodiac worlds, and then they will face a lot of different challenges they never expected. If they went by one person, then they will have a little blind side. So they don't know whether we are doing the right way, we are going the right direction, we're doing the right thing at this moment, or whether we should do it or not do it. But with the second person's opinion, it's helpful for the first person to make the decision or be more brave to try it out. So these two girls are always doing these things. When they grow up, they kind of like help each other to identify the chances or the challenge, and then they figure out the things together. It's like a collaboration. Every time when Annabelle is doing something, it's very fast. Olivia will want to help her to see, oh, we should take it slowly because A, B, C, D. So it's a great collaboration spirit I want to mention in the book. The woman empowerment is like these two girls, they grew up in a traditional family as well, but they want to pursue their challenge and then pursue their dream. They never stop because other people say don't do it or this is the wrong way to go. They believe in their inner voice and do the research and then to help the other people. So that's what I envision the strong woman will be. Very independent, have their own thoughts, and also willing to try and fail and try again.
All right. Um, we're getting to a point in the show that I have to ask you this, and I'm going to ask you a very personal question after you answer this question. So please be prepared, and if you don't want to answer it, please let me know, and I'll ask you two more personal questions until you surrender and answer one of the questions.
Sure.
But anyway, how do people get in touch with you? Because I do know you have a social media presence. You have a lot of people that follow you. And the second part of that question is, where can we find your book and how can we buy your book?
Sounds good. Yeah, you can all welcome to follow me on the Instagram. My account is so _Anna_Zeng. So you can message me there or you can email me by anna.zen.book@gmail.com. This two way
All
will be
right.
the best efficient
All
way.
right.
Yeah.
And all of her personal information, her professional information will be in the show description of this show that you can find it on our YouTube page, RMK Productions and Network. Now, the one personal question that I have to ask you, you have three main characters, even though there's multiple. When you talk about the Zodiac Guardians, which character is you? And why did you pick? And just because we're doing this by audio. I want you to describe your character and how you came up with that character.
Sure, but I do want to leave a little suspense to our audience to guess which one will be me. I'm the person is very determined, also very persistent towards my goal, and also willing to try the new thing, not afraid to fail. And I'm very straightforward. So
Mhm.
the character I build up is based on the personal story and personal feelings. At the first time, maybe the stranger will feel I'm too shy or I'm not willing to talk at first, but that's what I show the respect to other people. So, but at the crucial time, I will make the decision very fast, and also will listen to our audience voice. So that's me. Is exactly as the character I build on as
All
well.
right. For ladies and
But
gentlemen,
I don't want to tell which one.
all right. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are Googling the Zodiac Guardian by Anna Zeng, Zeng, and trying to figure out her character, Anna, I'm going to ask you a question. What month were you born in?
November.
All right, I was born in December. So
Um,
it's not the zodiac signs that we are accustomed to looking at. I'm half horse, half human as Sagittarius, but I'm looking at the amazing, I'm going to tell you, the amazing illustrations and the detail in the characters. And I, I can see your three characters, but I'm not going to give them away because you have to look at it. And I'm going to tell you the book is beautiful, it's set up very well. Let's talk about illustrations because there is a process um, today with illustration or animation, and yours are beautifully done. How did you come up with the images of each one of these characters and tell us how you brought those characters to life in this book?
Yeah. I want to thank you for our publisher and the editing team. They helped me to make these characters into life. But at the beginning, I kind of showed them what envision this kind of characters and what they mean behind it. I kind of have a very detailed information to describe what this Zodiac look like, what Annabelle and Olivia, what kind of a color of their hair, what they just look like. So it's very detailed description. And then I send it to the editor. They present me with a two proposal. Like one is our traditional way to do it. So we need to calculate the pricing based on each page and the time they spend it on it. And the other proposal will be using our technology, the AI, to create it, and then we can twist it after to see how we can make every page is very consistent and beautiful. So consider the price effective. I choose the second way, and it saved me a ton of time as well. It's like I saved at least 2 months on the whole illustration part. That's give me a more time to twist my words and twist it every page and what it look like. Yeah, I think it's really helpful. I would recommend that too.
All right. May I ask you another personal question? And the reason why I'm asking this is because everyone always talks about if I had more time, I would do this. And
Um,
it's a very lonely world writing a book, and a lot of times authors don't have the support system like you do with a loving husband and a captive audience with your daughter being inside the womb, having to listen to all the stories. I know with me, if you walk past my office, you'll think there's three or four people in the room because I talk out all of my characters in order to make sure that the voice that I'm sharing in the book is actually a human voice in the book. Um, when you're alone in the room, are you talking to yourself, or how do you come up with the conversations in order for us, the readers, to be able to follow the story?
yeah, sure. This is a funny process. Every day before I went to bed, I would put this few people in my head, like Annabelle, Olivia, or one of the zodiac, like the mouse or the tiger. I would think about, oh, if I was one of the character, what I would do in the next step and what they're doing. Are they doing fun things or are they going through a very difficult times? How can I help them? So I would kind of like in a third perspective in those imaginations to see whether it makes sense or not make sense. And then when I really went to sleep, that can become my gym. Eventually, they will jump into my gym. So the second morning, I will have a much clearer ideas about what the story will look like and whether these characters will talk to me. So I think that's my way to handle the things.
And how many characters are in the book?
Two main girl characters and also 12 other main Zodiac characters. So I think 40 mainly. But they do sometimes will have a sibling in certain Zodiac world, so more than 40.
All right, and I'm going to ask you another personal question, and it's probably going to loop around to this. Um, which character in your book, and I know the way that I write, there's always something that pops up that surprises me. Which character that popped up in the story, and you created a story around that was not part of the original story that you have, and why did this character become so important to the story moving it forward?
Yes. For example, like the tiger chapter, I'm talking about they can sell the magical candies can help the people to sleep well. At first, I was thinking about maybe just the girl character of the tiger. That would be super cute. That's good enough. But I'm also thinking about when I walk through the street, there is no only one person in the shop. Usually, it will be people or three people. So that's why I add the second one into the tiger chapter. Is the tiger sister's brother. So there will be the two siblings stories.
All right, and what age range is this book good for?
I believe it's good for from the age 8 until the up to age 50. There was a great audience range.
Okay, and I hopefully you don't mind me comparing this to the next version of Harry Potter. And the reason why I'm comparing this because I'm a very visual person because I draw and paint and I do my own illustrations. Are you considering animating this book?
Definitely. I'm working on that part. Yeah. I'm trying to turn it into a real movie, just like to show how our audience how excited I am to create these characters and how this character can grow with them together. Not only to create into a movie, but also make it into a series. So it will just like they will grow up as well. So
All right, you know you're about to become a big star, don't you?
oh no, thank you. But I hope so.
Now, are you ready to be a star?
Ready? Yeah, of course.
All right. And the reason why I ask that question is because I do this all the time when I'm coaching people. A lot of times we don't prepare for success.
Mm,
There is a sacrifice for being successful, which people don't think about. All they see is the things that they're able to buy or the places
mm.
they can go once they become successful. But when I ask you, are you prepared to be successful? It's like for the lady that wrote Harry Potter, her first volume, she did not expect for her to be writing volume two, three,
Mm,
four, five, the movie, being on a set, traveling the
yeah,
world, telling her story, and also um, being an inspiration for other young women. That's why I asked you, are you prepared to be success? Because now you're going to be an example for all to follow.
that's so good to hear. But actually, it's not a smooth process for me as well. Um, Writing is always part of me, but it did take me a long time to make it realized. So I think if you believe yourself, don't afraid to reach out to people for help and ask questions and to try and to maybe you can go to a lot of forum and the book event to see which one is your favorite and then you can ask more questions with the author or the organizer to get more experience so that can help you to go smoother in your way as well. Yeah, it do have a lot of sacrifice. Like I say, I sacrifice a lot of time with my daughter, with my family, and also sometimes I feel exhausted after the work. I still need to go into my study and then to write a book. But that's the sacrifice that's worth it as long as you think you can make it realize and then you can reach your goal. If the book is not successful for the selling part in that perspective, it's fine. I really want to bring the voice to be heard by all the audience and also to be heard by all the moms, the young, ambitious women, to let them know if you can try, you will do it. And especially when the result is good, you will feel super excited and then you want to share with your experience with all the people you care about. So I think that's the main purpose of this book.
Now, you brought up something, the personal aspect, the sacrifices you have to make. I go through this with family, friends, as well as my children. Um, People that don't write don't understand the process, and one of us wakes up with a different agenda. You have a young daughter that needs mommy time. You have a young husband that needs Anna time. And when you have your newborn, which is your next book, the next level to your book that needs Anna time. How do you have the conversation? And I'm going to ask you for each one of them. When your
Mm,
husband is a little frustrated because you're not spending enough time with him, he loves you, he's committed to you, but he has come to you and says, "Can you do this later? I would like to do this with you." How do you have? How do you deal with that situation, and how would you advise first-time authors or writers? How
yeah.
do they handle that conversation? Walk them through it.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, I think my family, my husband and my daughter super supported me. I wrote out this big plan with my husband. I told him how much time I need to very dedicated to this project and how long I think it would realize. He's super excited, but definitely there will be some day he has a really bad day and he want to talk to someone. I say I will comfort him at the beginning and then I will tell him that I'm really, really very into this at this moment. Can you just save me like 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Maybe can listen to the music you like. Maybe you can read a book that you enjoy, and then I will come back to you right away after I finish this one. But definitely, I'm still dear Anna, so I take myself as a priority as well. So if the things I really need to do and it's on my schedule, I have to make it complete before I do anything else. So that's me, and he respects me in that part as well. So I think that part is lucky. Yeah.
Now, that's real easy to have a conversation with an adult, and you have
Mm.
that because I know when I wrote my book, I remember, and I actually wrote it into my book. My son had asked for my time, and I said, "Give me 5 minutes." And 30 minutes later, he was still sitting outside my door waiting for me to
That's
do it.
true. Yeah.
And I realized one is that when you have a 4 year old, you don't get the next 30 seconds, you don't get the next 6 months, you don't get the next hour and whatever. And I put down my book in order to spend time with him. And it was the best part of my day. Now, your
Yeah.
daughter, her first name is what?
Cora. Korra.
All right,
We
Cora.
named her after the cartoons called The Legend of Korra. So we want her to be strong and to be smart. Actually, I do feel you in the children part when you're doing your things. When she came over and want to play with me, I do have the preparation of the crayon or the color pens, and I have a paper next to me. And when I'm writing certain chapter, I will ask her, this is the character I'm going to building. She's like A, B, C, D, E. Can you draw it for me? I want to create together. Maybe she's not too very understanding what I'm talking about. But when I draw example of a girl or an animal, she can name it and then be quiet next to me to draw the most of the time. Yeah. So I think that would be helpful.
All right, all right. I'm going to ask you one more question. Probably ask you a couple more questions after this before we wrap up. Um, I know you do the same thing I do because we need moral support and to see
Mm,
if what we have written, if it's going in the direction that we wanted to. So we share it with people that are close in our circle. Um, in the process of sharing, you ever get criticism on your work, or they give you advice on how to write the next step from your friends?
so far it's okay. The most criticism is from my husband, I think. Even though he's very supportive, but he's the closest person who understands me the best. So I show him some work, and then when he reads it, oh, this character may should do the A thing, not the B thing. And then say I will have a discussion with him. Maybe I have this consideration. I haven't showed it in the book for the next chapter yet. Maybe you can wait a little bit. So this kind of a conversation has helped me to have a better understanding about myself and also my characters. It's really helpful. But I do want to share another one about a criticism is when I first started to posting my book on our social media, some people will feel, oh, maybe you create everything based on AI, not just the illustration. So that's kind of made me a little sad. Yeah.
The funny thing is, I we've talked about this earlier. I have not adapted AI for the simple fact like the process. I've got several people within my circle that literally overnight have published books, and I like having my
Yeah.
hands on every single word. I love auto spell check when I'm talking within my community because that always doesn't come up in King's language. And my conversation, the way I write, is the way that I speak and deal with people every single day. So, anyone ever tell you or ask you why you should write a book and what makes you so special? You ever had that conversation?
Mm, I feel like I'm already told my friends step by step about why I think writing is part of me. It's just like I can see their smile face when they're reading my stories. So I'm the person who like to try the new things. From every year, I do have a small project to do. So in the past 2 years, the writing will be my main project, my main focus. So I feel like they're really embrace that part of me and they understand their part. And also, like you mentioned before, some friends of me even want to start their own writings after seeing my publication. But what I continue to tell them is you need to stick to your goal. You cannot just stop and do nothing because once you stop, it's really hard to. You may need to spend us 2 times of the efforts to start again. So, yeah, just keep it consistent. I think that's very important. That's why I told them.
All right. Writing a book is a long, lonely process. For some writers, I've been on the end of writing a book. It took 5 years to write because I had to rewrite it, and rewrite
Mm, definitely.
it. I always tell people your first draft is a brain dump. I don't know the process or how long it took you to write this book, and if you want to share that, we're open to it. But the question I'm going to ask you, and I want you
Yeah.
to share the experience from the time that you get your author's copy, that box
Yeah.
shows up, and you open the book. Walk us through that process and walk us through the process of seeing your book in real time in your hands, bind it, illustrate it, publish. And the next question I'm going to ask you, who did you give the first copy? Who did you give the first signed copy of your book, the first time you had an autograph? So walk me through the process of
Okay.
UPS or FedEx dropping your book off at your door and you're taking a knife to open up the box.
Yeah, sure, sure. So this is my book. May not see very clear in the Zoom screen, but I like it so much. I started my writings since I was pregnant, right? That will be 3 years more ago. I writing like take me 2 years, and then the editing took me like at least 4 months. To finish the book and the illustration, and then we launched it in the Mother's Day last year. So it's a meaningful day for us. I feel really excited to see so many friends supporting me. I sent my first copy actually is to the friend in China. There are two friends means a lot to me. One is Alice, one is Shannon. They are both my childhood friends, and we are in same boarding school. So we spend a lot of time together to talking about different fun things. And they are the first readers that in my life to read my short story, but they never criticize. They just encourage me. So I think they are the very royalty reader to me.
All right. When you signed your autograph, who's the first person you autographed a book for?
Still those two people, Alice and Sharon.
Can I ask you what you wrote?
I wrote to my best friend, and then I have my signing.
All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why I've asked these questions and I set up the questions the way that I did is because I'm looking at first-time authors of going through the process of understanding what the process is and what the end game. I know when I write the ending before I write the beginning, even though the ending may change. Every author
Oh,
is different. And I hope that Anna and her book, The Zodiac Guardian, that you picked the book up. And I'm going to ask Anna one more time to let us know. Um, I'll put the copy of the book in the show
okay.
notes so we can see it. Zoom
Okay,
doesn't
cool.
always pick it up.
All
And
right.
I hope we encourage you to tell your story because everyone has a story to be told. Believe it
Yeah,
or not.
yeah.
And each writer, each author, they go through a different process, but the process is still the same. I mean, every single
Mm.
book has one thing in common, two things in common. Black ink, white pages. The first sentence and the last sentence, it's all consistent. And everyone has a story to be told. Don't think that your story is not valuable because there's 8 billion people on the planet, and all you have to do is resonate within 1% of the population, and you're a world's class best seller author. So Anna, is there anything that we've missed that you would like to share with your new audience right now in the story that that we've told?
Yeah, I feel like I just want to share one more thing. Grew up in a very diverse background. So not only like the rational part, the professional part, but also like the creative part. And also I do a lot of volunteering. I just want to say that lots of this kind of a different experience, they built me. So we don't learn things in one way only. We learn things in different way, and we got inspired in different way. Like when I see the children's in the orange, when I see the suppliers in negotiation, I'm all learning from them. So this kind of small pieces build up what I am. I hope everyone, if you have a chance to try more different type of the things, to wearing different hats and to see which one fits you well, and then to best represent you. At that point, you will get a lot of different kind of innovations and creativity, and to build out the material for your book if you really want to become a writer someday.
All right. Before I end, self-publishing or traditional publishing, what advice would you give to any prospective author on which direction to get their book out into the public? Which is best?
They do have a good things and bad things, right? But myself is doing the self-publishing. It's really following my what I expected. Every step is very clear and transparent, and it saved me a lot of times to go through a different back and forth meetings with our the traditional publisher companies. So I think that's the good things I recommend to using the self-publishing, and it's really helpful that you can see all the data from the platform. For example, like the order portfolio and the sales market. So something like that is really helpful for you to have your feet in. For the traditional publisher company, I feel like the most important part is they have a lot of connections and a big network. So if you want to bring your book into life, for example, like you want to talk in the TV or you want to have a book event in a big plaza, the traditional publisher, they do have that kind of the network and the kind of the experience to do that. It's very helpful for a new author because at first we have no clue what we are doing. We try and learn, right? But it will save you some time if you choose that route.
Yeah, and the other thing, and I know that I'm on the fence either or with AI. For those that are listening, you can
Mm.
actually ask. I don't know what platform people use, and I'm only regurgitating the conversation I've had with another author. You can actually have AI map out a complete marketing plan, a press release, and how to step by step of getting your book out there, and and ask it the same thing that a traditional publisher would do, how to market that. The key thing is to be successful in this marketplace. Look at the amount of people that follow you on your social media. If you have 500 people that follow you on Facebook, Instagram, or wherever the case may be, and 10% of those people have a high call to action. What I mean by high call to action is that if Anna calls them and they say, well, I've got a new book out, will you buy the book? And at the same process, look in your social network and ask 10 of those people to do it and repeat that process for 30 days. I will also tell you that you will make yourself like Anna, a best-selling author and a very financially successful author. And that process is repeated. The only way that we can be successful as authors, because people don't read anymore, is that we share our books and our social network with like-minded people that have a high call to action. Anna, what do you want people to take away from this interview?
Um, I think just like I said, to read more, to try more, and don't afraid to go through a lonely journey. But eventually, if it's worthy, then you should do it.
All right. The book is titled The Zodiac Guardians. Beautiful, beautifully written book, exceptionally animated book. I can't wait to see the film that's coming out. And I know you're probably already working on the next version of the book. And like I said, I'm comparing it to a better version of the Harry Potter story. It takes you into a world and you escape from the world that you exist in, and it invites you in. And like I said, with understanding persistence, building success, understanding the importance of collaboration. Um, and I want to thank you, but to our listeners, I want to share with you, today's conversation reminds us that everyone carries a story within them, and the story is in the power of the words. Anna Zeng, author, best-selling author, soon to be filmmaker, producer, her journey shows us that creativity is just not about having talent. It's about having the courage, perspective, and the belief in your own voice. Her work reflects the importance of staying true to your own values, lifting others up, and collaborating to build something bigger than yourself. If you have a story inside you, don't wait for permission to tell it. The world doesn't need more content, it needs the truth. Before I close the show today, I want you to remember this, that your story does matter, that you are important, that your voice has value, your journey has purpose, and what you've experienced in life can experience someone else that's going through the same thing that you're going through. Character does build trust. Empowerment builds strength. Persistence builds success. Collaboration builds legacy. So don't hold back with your story because someone out there is waiting to hear it. Anna Zeng, I want to thank you for being a guest on Talking Wit Kevin and Son. I want to thank you for taking time away from your husband and your young child in order to share your story and your perspective on this wonderful book with the world. We are on a global platform. And Anna, I can't wait for you to come back. I cannot
Thank you
wait
so
for you to come
much.
back.
Yeah,
And
thank you.
I'm going to cheat a little bit. Are you going to be one
Yeah,
of the voices in your own movie when you animate this?
I'm still thinking about it. I'm not sure yet.
Oh, you got to do it. You got to be the voice. And I
Okay,
won't.
sure.
I
I will
you
practice
you
more.
you practice more, and you do it very
Yeah.
well. And to our listeners, I
Oh,
can't thank you enough. I have a hashtag that says, and my son says it's way too long. Find 1,000 reasons to use the number two to be kind to someone. I want you to do that
yeah,
because we're going through a rough time in this world.
it is. Yeah.
Um, and kindness is free, it doesn't cost you anything. You never know what the person sitting next to you is going through. And sometimes a warm good morning or a sincere good morning, a hello, or maybe even a hug will carry a person a lot further than just walking away and not even making contact. And, drop your phone for an hour a day and just get a chance
Yeah.
to take advantage of this great life we have. So I want to thank all of our listeners, the people that subscribe, and follow that tune in. We want to welcome your comments and we appreciate your continued support. If you want to find us, you can go to our YouTube page. It's under RMK Productions and Network. And if you want to email us with your comments, you can also write it, your comments, and Anna will appreciate that when we release the video on YouTube. Or you can email us at rmkproductions@org.com. My grandfather always said that education is not designed to make you comfortable. That's the reason why we write these books. It is designed to make you think. The Zodiac Guardian definitely allows you to escape from your reality and takes you into a whole nother world. It allows you to experience kindness, persistence, collaboration, and empowerment, not just for women, but for the human race in general. My grandfather also said, when you get to a point in life that you can help someone else out, it is your duty to do so. That's the reason why we showcase people on this show that you should know. So, without that said, my grandfather always said, reach one, teach one. And with that said, we're out and we'll fade to black. I'm Kevin McLemore. I am your show host. Until next time, we're out.
Yeah.